Recently, South Korea's National Tax Service released tips for the more than 500,000 foreigners in South Korea who are expected to file year-end tax settlements for their 2015 income. And I spoke with tax experts here in South Korea to discuss tax tips and how foreigners can get free advice to avoid costly errors.
My name is Jung-se Lee, and I'm a CPA working for Accounting Corporation, and I go to Seoul Global Center once a week to do the counseling for foreigners. Basically, not many differences between foreigner and Korean taxes because nationality is not a main factor to decide the tax liability. Instead of nationality, tax law defines resident or non-resident. If a foreigner lives in Korea more than 183 days, the foreigner may be classified as a resident for tax purpose. However, there is one favor for foreign workers who are receiving salary in Korea. Single tax rate of 17% may be applied for the salaries of foreign workers. Then they will not claim various tax exemption or tax credit. Therefore, they should compare which method is more favorable for themselves.
I also spoke with a foreign tax expert with knowledge for filing both in South Korea and in the United States.
My name is Katie Clemson, and I am a tax preparing professional. I have my own company here called Clemson Consulting. Foreigners file a little bit differently. The first thing that non-Korean residents usually do is they don't understand the process, and they usually let their employer file entirely on their behalf. So they let go of some of that control. I think most South Korean citizens know exactly how they're filing and what percentage of tax they're actually paying. Certain foreigners working in Korea are entitled to certain benefits. Some programs provide with the right paperwork, 2 years without taxation in South Korea. Beyond that, then one would be taxed. So I think the rate of taxation and the amount of knowledge somebody knows going into the process of tax time is really different.
With so many different tax situations, it's easy to imagine that mistakes can be made. But what are the most common mistakes made by foreigners while filing their taxes in South Korea?
When foreigners work for English institution as a freelancer, the English institution will take 3.3% of business income tax when they get paid, because the foreigners think that they already paid some of the taxes through the English institution. They forget to add the income when filing their income returns. However, they need to know that the 3.3% of withholding tax is not final tax return, but just a preliminary tax payments. And they should add the income when filing their tax returns, and then higher tax rate may apply and more tax may be paid in final tax return. I have seen many cases that tax office sent notification to file individual income tax return, including penalty.
There's two big things that I think we need to touch on to raise awareness. One is how and in which way is your employer filing for you? You have to know, are they classifying you as an employee or as a contracted freelance teacher? A lot of foreigners are teachers. The rate of taxation is incredibly different. I think the tax rate went up last year, and a lot of people were asked for more money, and they had never seen the numbers before. They should be getting refunds if they're being taxed the right way. The second thing that we have to be aware of is the Korean government has a tax website, and we have to take our digital certificates that are issued from our bank, and we have to plug those in to the tax site, verify our identifications, and check out what we've spent and what's tax deductible. If you're using a credit debit card, it's all there, and it's all ready to be downloaded and given to your employer.
Even with the best intentions, tax mistakes can be made, and here in Korea, that could mean penalties. But Seoul Global Center accountant Lee Jung-se says such repercussions are only financial.
There are two kinds of penalties. One is the penalty for not filing within due date, and the other one is the penalty for not paying the tax. The rate is 10.95% per year for the unpaid tax. It is very high rate compared with the interest rate in current financial markets, so you need to be very careful.
Tax professional Katie Clemson says doing your homework beforehand can prevent these financial penalties.
I think we have to start with knowing the tax basics, asking your employer and having a frank conversation with them. The most basic and critical information is going to come from the employer. They need to say how they've classified you as an employee, and then you need to take action depending on your real status on your filing. If you believe that you have not had somebody file for you properly in the past, you are entitled to a refile. That will cost you some out-of-pocket expense with a Korean CPA, but a lot of times it's well worth it. So a CPA can be a great resource. Sitting down at your bank and asking for those tax statements, if you have credit cards, calling your credit card company, any additional insurance. Some big companies sell car insurance and additional supplemental health insurance other than the national health insurance. It's all tax deductible. So reaching out to those people that provide services to you is a huge benefit. Getting the paperwork, getting the documentation, and keeping proper records. I think most employers are filing taxes. Now, whether or not they're filing them in a favorable way for the employee is to be determined by each individual case. I think the biggest thing I think foreigners can be missing out on is a healthy refund. And you're entitled to that. You pay taxes in a country where you work. It's not a handout. You're not taking something from the government. You're putting your own money back in your pocket because you've overpaid.
And finally, foreigners preparing to file their South Korean taxes should remember that they can benefit from both information and services that are being offered free of charge.
Many foreigners in South Korea, they are not tax experts. They don't know the Korean tax well. So I want to give them advice just to try to find the tax expert in Korea nearby you. Foreigners may visit the National Tax Service website, nts.go.kr. They will provide various information in English in their website. Or they may visit a Seoul Global Center to get advices regarding tax, legal, labor issues, etc. You may find the location using keyword of Seoul Global Center in the searching engine.
For KoreaFM.net, I'm Chance Dorland.